Hey everybody, this is Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. What we have this time is the DaoVua leaf spring steak knife. So you can read a bit about it on the website, but it's family. They do interesting things. They take vehicle leaf springs and forge those and hammer them out and grind them out on grinding wheels. I shouldn't say grinding wheels, grinders. But yeah, they do some pretty interesting work, and you can kind of see the story. But the knives have gotten better and better as they have gotten advice and taken it and kind of refined as they went. So they've been producing some pretty cool stuff, and obviously the value is definitely there. But the construction is mono steel, so it's one piece of steel. We don't really know what the heat treat is, and that can vary on these, but they will take a very nice edge. If you're trying to learn how to sharpen, this is an easy to sharpen steel, and if it turns out your particular knife doesn't have a ton of edge retention, well, that's kind of good because you get some practice sharpening. So the weight and dimensions can vary just a little bit, but this one's 78 grams or 2.8 ounces. The edge length is right about 150 or just about 6 inches, and the overall length is about 10.6. The spine thickness, these are pretty thin overall, so about 1.7 millimeters just all the way down is what I got. And you can see a fairly generous grind here, so the tip gets thin. The blade height's about 29.4 on this one. That can vary a little bit. Handles are mostly surprisingly good. They've been producing handles with different wood combinations, and they're kind of, and I put octagonal, but they're almost squarish with a little bit of corner, just a little bit of a facet on each corner. So they're kind of squarish. But they feel good. You'll see a lot of different woods and styles, but really pretty impressive with these little handles on here. They're pretty cool. The circumference on this particular one's about 70 millimeters right in here. So, you know, good size good feel for what you're going to do with it. Out of the box edges, these typically are not very sharp, and this is not an exception. So these should be sharpened out of the box to really get the most out of them. This blade's nice and straight on these. The grinds are pretty consistent. So again, it's just kind of a real interesting product. Here's our beauty shot. They've got kind of a Kuda-uchi finish on them. Again, this is a reactive blade, but there's their logo in there. The Kuda-uchi's pretty smooth. A little hard to kind of catch this with the lighting. That's the right side of the blade. Here's the left side of the blade. These are all going to vary a little bit, but fairly smooth finish on them. You can kind of see their grind marks as they work through it. So, you know, not a ton to tell about these. I've got a bunka I've been working with, and it's a pretty cool little knife, and I've been enjoying it. So, again, the steel is very easy to sharpen. Here's your profile just in case. I mean, you could do a little bit of board work with this if you wanted to, but again, it's for a steak knife. And what's cool about this is that they're not expensive, and you can afford to get some if you want to try, you know, one out, then maybe round out your set. But they're easy to sharpen, so if you happen to cut on a plate or something that, you know, kind of loses the edge, you can touch them up pretty easily, or you could reserve a wood board for steak cutting. But they'll do a really nice job on that, and very interesting knife from an interesting place, interesting story behind it that you can tell your family and friends when you have them over and tell them what they're using to cut their steak. So pretty cool product. So this is the DaoVua leaf spring steak knife.